Recording. All right, live. Welcome to the Adeel Pirzada Podcast, sponsored by the Pircon Group, commercial construction experts. This is episode 1 of the Adeel Pirzada Podcast. We're on Spotify and YouTube and Apple Podcasts. Welcome to the show. This is our very first episode. If you don't know who we are, my name is Kevin. I am a business development manager for Pircon. I help with marketing and getting more customers, and I'm a proud member of this team. So grateful to be here. I've learned so much from my mentors here today. And today we're going to be covering some great things. I'm going to be introducing the next amazing speaker here who actually owns the podcast, but just basically what you'll get from tuning in to the Adeel Pirzada Podcast is business strategies, business lessons, and business secrets to grow your business, gain success, gain leadership, and to maximize your profit. And also just lessons and raw stories on how to become a better business owner. And hosted by Adeel Pirzada. And if you do not know what this company is, I just want to introduce our company, the Pircon Group. We're commercial construction experts. We are experts in design build. We also have a general contracting firm where we build commercial spaces, restaurants, retail, clinics, nail salons, daycares, anything commercial. We do that for you, tenant improvement. And if you do want more information, go ahead and click the link in the show notes, pircongroup.com. I'll have our number and our email down below. You can get some more information to hit an estimate. All right. And we do have a special guest, Adeel Pirzada. Welcome.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for having me here, actually on my own show. It's amazing that we're starting this, and it's going to be very helpful and educational for a lot of people. So I'm really excited. Little about myself. My name is Adeel Pirzada. I'm the owner of Pircon Group. Pircon is a group of companies where we do construction management, design and consulting, and some real estate services. So welcome everyone to Adeel Pirzada Podcast. Thank you, Kevin, again for the introduction and for the discussion and for your efforts here.
Yeah, thank you. All right, guys. So, we were thinking, and as we wanted to start this podcast, we were just thinking of what are we going to talk about in our first episode. And today, I really want to cover who Adeel Pirzada is. Who is this man? Who is this guy? He is the founder, the owner of the Pircon Group, the proud leader, the pioneer of this company. And today we're going to dive into his life. We're going to dive into his, what he's learned as a man and as a business owner. And I want you to take some notes, grab a pen, just so you can take some lessons on Adeel, who he is. And I trust and I hope that you could take some lessons and maybe you'd consider working with us as a partner and a customer with us for any of our services or developments and, real estate, stuff like that. So Adeel, I have a list of questions for you here. How are you feeling? Are you excited or what?
I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful.
All right. So first question that I have here is, who is Adeel? Who is that? I know it's a broad question.
Yeah, it is. So Adeel is a lot of things. It's actually a person with the experience of 38 years. So that's what I would call Adeel, because your life is simply, you're a product of your experiences and your learning and your education. So yeah, I am just the product of that, and I'm very blessed, very happy to be here, and to be on Earth. To be honest with you, and to be in a circumstances where we're actually able to make this happen. Pircon, and then the plan, the future, that we carry with us. So, how it all started, I'll just start with that. After high school here, I ended up actually going for a college education right away. I actually wanted to take a break, but that didn't really happen. So I ended up in the college, and I ended up just taking whatever was just paying the highest at that time, which was in oil and gas. So I just simply look at the college book, or they usually have these with all the salaries and all the programs that they offer.
Yeah. Well, I think we're like kind of fast forwarding a bit. I'm really curious of like, where did, from birth, like where were you born? Where were you? Where'd you grow up?
So you want to start from the very beginning. So
Yeah.
I was born in Pakistan. It's a city called Rawalpindi. It's actually close to the capital. It's the capital, but the capital is a new city, Islamabad. So I was born there. My dad used to work there, and then he had a job
Nice.
over there. So
What did your dad do?
my dad was actually there's a huge manufacturing and clothing and cotton basically manufacturing in Pakistan. So he was he used to work there. He was on one of the supervisions level, handling stuff, and he was working in that industry for quite long time. He actually lived in different cities, and actually some of my siblings actually born we are all kind of born in different cities, because he would have work there, and then he would go and work there for a while, and then get promoted, get transferred somewhere else. So that's kind of all along happened. So yeah, that was that. And then from there we moved to Lahore, which is a bigger city in Pakistan. And then I actually grew up there. I spent most of my time up until grade 10 over there, and then we moved to Canada.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What made your family want to come over from Pakistan to here?
So it's actually, my dad actually passed away when I was 4 years old. So when we moved to Lahore, he was no longer working for the same company. And
Wow.
yeah, so we moved to a new place, a new house, a new city pretty much, even though my parents were born there and their family lived there. So
Right.
I was 4 years old. He passed away. So we were our own. So we have actually seen very tough life. And it's really tough in Pakistan, especially if you don't have the male figure in the family, like a head of the family as a father. It becomes very tough. So yeah, we lived there, and it was all about. When I was little, I just couldn't think about growing up really fast, and so I could be, my own, and I could do something for the family, and take care of the future. So that's exactly what happened. We lived there for another 10 years or so after he passed away. And then my brother ended up coming to Canada. He applied for a university here, and he got accepted. So he came on basis of the education.
Sweet.
And then
I didn't know you had a brother, man.
yeah,
That's
so
crazy.
yeah, I got 3 siblings. I got 2 brothers and a sister, and they're all older than I am. So I'm the youngest in the family. Yeah.
You're the youngest.
Yeah, I'm the youngest. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, so my oldest brother, basically, he's the one who moved here, and then my sister got married here, so she moved here. She lives in Toronto. And her in-laws, her husband, they've been living there for a very, very long time. Yeah. So we got a family. So our whole family is here now. Basically, then my aunts and their kids and some of other family members slowly ended up moving to Canada, and then we got a pretty big family here. There's actually not many people left in Pakistan. There, Some live in London. My other uncle, he's been living in England for 30 some years, and I have family in Middle East as well. So yeah, we're like all outside of Pakistan, but so yeah, so we ended up moving honestly because the opportunity, because the safety, because the education, because the health, all the good stuff that the West or the North American life
Yeah,
that offers you.
that's powerful, man. I
Yeah.
didn't know that your dad died, and sorry to hear.
Yeah, yeah.
So, like, who ended up becoming like the father figure once he left? Like, what was?
So we were
How was that
pretty
like for you?
young. Like my brother was only in he just entering the oldest brother in teen, so he was like 13,
Yeah,
14 years old. So yeah, he had to actually get on a lot of stuff and start taking over.
in the family.
Yeah. So him and then my grandfather, so my mom's dad. He was actually he played a really big role in our kind of life, and after my dad passed away, so he was like the father figure.
Powerful, man. I know it's very important to have like a good, strong male role model. So key in a, like, especially in a young guy's life.
Yeah. You know what? But I don't want to make it sad. I think everything has a hidden opportunity in it. But I mean, there's no replacement for a dad, for a father.
Sure.
You only have one mother and one father, and there's no replacement. So either figure is not there. It doesn't matter how many people try to fill it up and try to be there for you. Even though that wasn't really the case with us. Like, I had uncles, my dad's brother, but they weren't really the father figure. They didn't step up the game. So all we had is what our mom was able to offer us, and then all I had is what I was able to get from my siblings and from my mother. And it's pretty rough without a dad. But soon enough, you kind of realize it. That's how it is, and then you just start shaping your life and your future in a way where you become the man, you become that leader. So I think, in a way, it makes you a man a lot sooner and earlier, which is a good thing and a bad thing in some ways. So, but I always took it as on the good side, and I always appreciated the circumstances were around me that created who I am.
Yep. So fast forward, now you were in high school, like you moved to Canada. Now you were in high school. You guys came over to Canada from the Pakistan. Now, what was like? Tell us more about that. Like where you were from. You were sharing about high school, and then, yeah.
Yeah, it's actually funny. I hated the schooling system in Pakistan. It's actually pretty bad. I thought it would have changed, and I heard it's still the same. You just have to memorize. Just memorize. Even you don't understand, you memorize.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you a funny story. So I hated that. I hated it. I wasn't good in English over there. I wasn't good in the language Urdu. I wasn't good in social. Like anything had to do with language, I wasn't good because you have to memorize it, and I don't know how you memorize a language in a way like it. And I said, even science, like they just have you on memorization. Like you need to memorize this, and I would ask questions that tell me the behind the scenes, right? Like how does it happen? Tell me more about physics and then more about biology. And it didn't really happen, and I was very frustrated. So when I was coming here, I was kind of excited because I knew the education was more practical here, and then I was very excited. Funny story: when I came here, they asked me to write my first. So I guess it was like an interview to the school, or you have to just present some stuff like you have to write an essay, you have to solve some math equations and things like that to show where your level of education is. So I had to write an essay about my visit to Canada, like our travel to from Pakistan to Canada.
Right.
So I was so used to the education system over there. Then they asked me that, hey, you have to write about your visit here. And I said, where's the book? Where's the book where I read that from? They're like, there's no book. You have to write in your own words. And I couldn't believe it that I was actually allowed to write something in my own words, because that's not how it goes in Pakistan. There is a book for everything. You just read it, memorize it, and then you just go and you write a test. Every single thing.
Wow.
Yeah, and they
So
don't have
there wasn't no independent thinking.
No, and they don't have those
Pakistan.
creative kind of things like, hey, write about yourself, write about your feelings, write about what do you think. None of that.
That's messy, man.
Yeah. So I
don't know how you could learn that like that.
I don't know, honestly. It's that's why they'll have a lot of people like as over there, like engineers and doctors, because I mean, you can understand somewhat engineering, and there's a lot of memorization when you become a doctor.
Yeah. So what got you into construction? What got you interested in designing, building, growing these things? If you don't know Adeel has been responsible for, I think, almost 2 million square feet of developed space.
Yeah, somewhere in there, probably a million square foot.
Tell us about what got you interested in construction, that beginning phases.
I think I always liked construction. I just didn't know. As a kid, like I think we all do, but I really had fun with playing with construction toys, and I used to dig up like dirt in our backyard and fill it back, and used to make canals and do different things. And then construction equipment always kind of had this sort of attraction. So I always liked construction. I didn't know. And another thing, a lot of people don't know what they're good at or what they really want in life until they kind of go through the process. They have to try a couple things. If you're lucky, if you get on something and you like it from day one, and that's what you do. So I had to kind of try a couple things, and then I ended up with construction. There's a story behind too how exactly it happened. I was not in construction. Like I said, I was going to college. I was going to be in petroleum and oil and gas industry because Alberta is all about that. And then I failed it miserably. I got bad grades other than math and physics. I didn't have the interest. So that was the big reason. Actually, the biggest reason. I didn't have the interest what I was doing. Yeah. At that time, I didn't have the money. I wouldn't even have money sometimes for gas to go to the college. So I'll switch between a car and a bus. And then I used to work right across the street from the college at a gas station. So I would go in the mornings to the college from 8 a.m. till 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and then I'll start a night shift at the gas station. I would work from 6 p.m. or 7 p.m. till midnight, or sometimes even 2 a.m. And it was a 24-hour gas station on a main highway. So sometimes I'm working on the weekend. So I would switch shift around so I can pay for my bills. Yeah. And I was just going to college. So I went there for 1 year. I failed courses. I passed few. The ones obviously I loved.
Which school is this?
So that's SAIT. It's a Southern Alberta Institute of Technology. So it's a technology institute. Yeah. So what happened there? So after the first year, it was summer, and I actually had one of my friends who was taking this real estate course. So back then, you could spend about a month and a half, and you could become a real estate. So you become a realtor, and it wasn't that much cost. So and it was summer, and I had plans to get a job, and I don't know, like interior job, whatever I could find this summer as a summer student, like intern. and then get money so I can have some savings, and I'm going to go back in September and all that. So I said, you know what,
Hustling
I'm going
away.
to, yeah. So I didn't have much money, but I said, you know what, I'm going to take that risk. I'm going to go take this real estate course. I don't know what it's going to be, what it's not.
Wow.
We'll have to try it out. It was actually a mortgage broker course, but it's under RECA, so it's under the real estate industry. So I did that, and I passed it. Actually, the friend who took me there, he couldn't make it. He couldn't make it for himself, so he didn't pass the course on the first attempt. But I ended up passing it, and I think it was mortgages, and it was math, and it was financing, and I was already had interest, so I did well. I passed it, and then that's how I entered real estate industry. So I went and I signed up with a brokerage, and I started working in finance. And then the very same year, I think, or the next year, I went back to the same school. So it was kind of working out. I liked the work. It was doing a lot of things yourself. So I went back and I did my real estate course. And then I became a registered realtor.
So you did the mortgage course first, then real estate.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Powerful, man. So this is way before you got into construction.
This is way before. Study. Yeah, this is 2005, 2006.
Wow.
Yeah. This is way.
I'm learning a lot just being here, man. Crazy.
Yeah. It was 2006, I think, when I did the real estate. Okay. And then I started working as a full-time real estate and full-time financing. Then I left the financing side, and then I was just doing real estate. So kind of established the business. Real estate business it's like, I mean, you only need yourself to do it, sort of, but there's still things to learn and do. So I was just building up that. And then that's how I got into construction. So when I got into real estate, I didn't like real estate. Not because I didn't like the conventional real estate. I didn't like that you show the homes and then the realtors try to push the homes that are paying more commission and all the secrets behind. And I don't like, personally, I wanted something challenging, and it wasn't challenging enough. Like, I figured it out, the conventional real estate, within the first year. So I'm like, okay, it's kind of boring.
So this would be like selling houses, homes, normal stuff.
Yeah, just selling houses through the builder, selling houses through the MLS.
Okay.
Show them a house, tell them good features, tell them bad features, sort of thing, and then let them decide. And it worked really well for the first year, and then it started slowing down, and the market was slowing down.
How many houses did you sell the first year?
I think I had easily 10 to 12 houses first year. Yeah, and that time it wasn't like, the marketing wasn't like crazy how it is now. But yeah. And honestly, I didn't know. Like, I didn't know a lot of things. I just picked it and I just did it, and I learned from doing it most of the time. I didn't really have like a real estate guru mentor. We did have our broker. He was very knowledgeable, so I would go and ask him and bug him, and ask him questions and things about contract and things like that.
So it's not like today where you have like easy info on YouTube or podcasts where you can zone in and study.
Yeah, I think YouTube wasn't even around. Maybe it started 2007 or something. Yeah. So it was really like back in the days we were getting yellow pages and looking through the companies or
white
prospects.
Pages.
Yeah, yellow pages, white pages, and doing that.
Those were fun.
Yeah,
good times. I used to love reading through the yellow pages just randomly.
Yeah, so I ended up So back to my construction journey. So I ended up working with the investors in real estate who were building construction, like who were related to construction.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, so
Cool.
they inspired me, and they were doing infills that you call that you demolish an existing house, build a new one.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
got involved in that, and then kind of had a friendship built around that in a way that I learned from it. And then I got really inspired with construction, and I said, okay, this seems very difficult, and I want to do it. So, yeah, so I ended up signing up. I worked in real estate. I saved money. So then I went in with a plan. So I had a plan at that time. I had a few properties by then too that I was managing. So I had something building up. So I decided to save money and really go back to school, get the credit for the things that I had, like what I had passed and whatever not. So I figured that out. It took me some time. Just the way the education system is, that I had to go knock on a couple doors to get my credit back and a couple of things like that. Yeah, then I went back to school. I did civil engineering, and then it was really exciting. I really liked it for the majority of it. There's still some things I didn't like. I'm not good on like reading and memorizing stuff, but I really enjoy the math, the structural, how the towers, the buildings get built, how the support systems work, the physics behind it, all that stuff. It was fun.
So I know, in university and college and stuff, they have so many different courses on construction management. Why did you choose civil out of like project management or construction management, like they have now, different courses?
Yeah, so what I did is actually called civil engineering and project management.
Okay.
Yeah. So it taught us a lot about project management and about the process, right?
Yeah.
About the construction process, and then just the foundation. I think it was good education.
That's powerful. So I know in school is where you met one of our team members, Chris, there, and we'll probably talk about him later. He's a great guy, by the way. He's great on the tools. Foreman that teaches me a lot of stuff. But I know the next thing that I really want to cover is, you finished school, you born in Pakistan, father passed, came here, sick of school here, went to more school, did real estate, fell in love with construction. I'm really curious about your transition into like building a business in construction. Like, what were the beginning steps for you in building Pircon Group?
Yeah, so I think it was mainly I actually wanted to take a break. I was working for a company called Borger. It's a really big company that does a lot of infrastructure work in Calgary to build communities. Basically, they work for these big developers, and they'll go in and put in the services and grade and build roads and things like that. So I was working there, and then how it happened. I got let go, and I wasn't there fully. So I just recently I got married, so I'm like, you know what, this is gonna be a perfect time to take a break. So I told my wife, we're gonna go on vacation, pack our bags and all that stuff. So and then I had a couple months off, and honestly, I just couldn't do it. Like I just wanted to do something. I just couldn't sit on my bum and not do anything. So then I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna
This
start
lazy
doing
guy over here, eh?
Yeah. So I'm like, okay, and just mind you that, like, I was doing real estate all this time. So when I was obviously had my license, when I went to school, I was still do part-time. That was my real estate job. Luckily, I didn't have to work a gas station across the street.
Yeah.
I was able to make something happen with real estate, and I was able to do that and then pay for my bills. So yeah, I just came up with the idea that we should have a construction company, and I'm gonna call it Pircon.
This was right after the vacation.
Yeah. I came back from vacation and I registered Pircon.
Yeah, I could just see this guy sitting on the beach, half naked. I think I should start a company into the ocean.
Yeah, it wasn't really like that. Actually, the idea, it's so funny. Like when I was working in construction, I had friends in construction, and they were like, wouldn't do certain things. And I'm like, hey, you're in like construction. You own a cabinet company. You own, you're renovating homes. Do something bigger. So do something a little bit more with that. You got a company in place. You got people. You got resources. And they were like, no, I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing. So I'm like, man, if I could open up a general contracting company, I'll pick up this work, or I'll do certain things. And I would actually always try to help out and educate. Like, I'll tell them how to bid their projects and how to write their proposals and things like that. So I was kind of helping, and I kind of knew the scene of what it could be like owning a construction company. And I had the education and the experience, so it's like I kind of felt like I knew what I was doing, at least when I was advising them. So I'm like, okay, well, I don't know. I thought about it, like maybe one day I'll have a general contracting company. And then, when the opportunity came, I didn't turn it down. I had Pircon. The first company that opened up was Pircon General Contracting Limited. So I just actually visualized it and planned it around doing a general contracting commercial work. Our first contract was actually a residential job, but it was under commercial. It was changing doors on a condominium building, and we got the contract from a condo board. So it was basically like a commercial contract, a commercial work, commercial need sort of. So we did that. It was pretty tough. I was changing doors. I didn't know, and I had to figure out a whole bunch of things. So then after what I got into, and this is what I love, is just like there's so much learning. So when I went to school, they didn't teach us like, hey, how to build a restaurant, or how to build an office, or how to build a cafe. It was more about heavy duty construction and what is concrete about, and what is metals are about, and how strong are, and their strength and their breaking levels and things like that. But our very next job was building a restaurant, and I didn't know nothing about it. I was building a cafe, and I'm like, okay, I know how to read plans. I know how to read drawings. I know first things to do, so I'm just going to do that. So I asked the landlord to give them their existing drawings. I knew the terms because, I just had the experience on things. So I said, give me your as-built plans, and you give me your this plan and that plan. And then they're like, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So and then I'm like, okay, how do you build a restaurant? And honestly, at that time, YouTube, and there still wasn't much on YouTube. So I just read through the plans. I visited some businesses, and this is what I would actually normally would do too. Like I would, whenever we were building something new, I would go meet some business owners that are doing that, and I would ask them nicely if I could look around, just have a visit, just want to see how it's built. What's been put together.
So you would talk to construction companies, or is that other like store owners?
No, just like other business owners. Like when I wanted to build like a veterinary clinic, I visited a couple of veterinary clinics that was already there. And
so using that as a reference point.
So I said, I just want to take a look inside how it's built, and what's special, what is different here than the cafe, and what is the cafe has it different than a restaurant, like just like that. So I went in there, I looked at it. it was pretty simple and easy. Again, like I understood construction, so I had the foundation of the construction, so I could just look at things and I could figure out, okay, like you can build a wall with a steel stud and then this thickness of the drywall. Do I need insulation, not insulation?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I would also call architects and then different other people, and then I would ask them, that are already doing that work. And yeah, just learn on hands-on, basically. And I tell you, restaurants are the hardest to kind of figure out, because there's a lot that goes into. All that was learned hands-on. It's not like I worked somewhere and they taught me this or read a book or watched a video. No, I would just get the drawing, read the drawings, understand them properly, and then just try to break it down, and that's how we do it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Let's pause there. I do want to, so we're midway through the show. I just wanted to make a huge call to action to any business owners listening to this feed. Maybe you came about this podcast just now or stumbled upon it somehow. We are having a huge call to action to other small business owners in Calgary. Maybe you run a small business, any size. We would love to have you on the show, get you free marketing, get you free attention, even free lead generation through this podcast, feature you, have a chance for you to speak, share your story, just like Adeel is sharing today. We would love to have you here. If you're interested in being featured, you could come down to our studio. Just go ahead and send, you can send me an email at kevin@pircongroup.com. Kevin, Kevin, at Pircon Group, group.com. Just email me, and would love to have you here. Adeel would love to interview. I could interview you. We could share your story, and we'll have more people knowing about you and your mission. Such a powerful place. Podcasting is a great place to be. It's a great place to promote your business. So,
100%.
Yeah, let's do that. And before we get to the next topic here, I know I'm going to be covering some key lessons, key strategies, and successes and failures that Adeel has went through, and some advice for other small business owners. We're going to go into that next. But before I do just want to make sure that you all aware of the services that we provide. Pircon Group, we provide design build, general contracting. We can make your commercial building permits, commercial permits. We can create those drawings for you. All the drawings you need to build your business, we can provide all of those services for you. I'll provide the link down below. Hit us up, pircongroup.com. Pircongroup.com. Go ahead and check us out there. You could find out what we do, see our projects, our services, and apply for a quote as well there. Okay. Nice. So next thing that we're going to be going into, Adeel, is your key lessons that you've learned in building the Pircon Group. What were some key things you've learned that could be valuable to our guests listening here?
Hard work.
Easy.
Honestly, I think there are other things, in my opinion, that you need. You gotta have interest. If you don't like what you're doing, doesn't matter what you do, you're gonna suck at it. So you have to like what you're doing. One of the things actually I always ask in an interview when we're hiring, that how much do you like construction? How much do you like project management? How much do you like the process? Because you can work all your life on something. It's not meaningful if you didn't even like it. So that's just morally is wrong. And then if you're trying to make something happen, you don't like it. When the hard things are going to happen, when the tough times are going to come around, you're going to be the first one to walk away because you didn't like it to begin with. So I say liking it is a very big thing. If you naturally like something, you can adopt to go through the challenges. So like it, you got to love it, what you're doing, and then hard work. hard work.
You know, like there's a lot of, I've been listening to a bunch of podcasts with so many different entrepreneurs, millionaires. You know, they've always had this huge discussion like, hey, what should we be focused on, your passion, your purpose? You know, I came across this thing from Grant Cardone. He said this one thing. He's like, you know, passions are important, but sometimes you got to do things that you don't like. Such as, like, not everything in construction. I love construction, but I don't love everything in construction. There's some things I don't like. So there's that as well, right? Like, you know, as part of the journey to success, I'm learning is like, I got to do things that I don't like too.
Yeah,
as well.
100%. Like, I'm talking about, you got to like the majority of what you're doing. So, I mean, type of business. So let's say, if I try to open up a restaurant, if I don't like cooking, I'm not going to do well. I have to like the major thing about that business, which is cooking. If I love cooking, if I love creating dishes and inventing stuff, and I am that guy in the family who cooks and who barbecues and, you know, who loves doing different things, then 100%, like, if you don't like hiring people in that process, if you don't like greeting people in the process, if you don't want to be the manager in the store, if you don't want to be accountant, you know, if you don't like the accounting part of it, there's many things you don't like it. You must do it. You have to do it. But the major part of it, what business sits on, you have to like that.
Yeah, the core. I do agree with that part as well. You know, like it's... Yeah.
What,
I do need to like it because I'm going to be doing it all day, and if I'm just sick of it, I won't stick around.
Exactly. I think what Grant is talking about, like that, hey, you know, I have a business, I hate accounting, but guess what? I have to learn accounting and I have to figure this out because it's very important to grow a business. Or I don't like marketing, but I'm going to figure that out.
Like, it will matter in those dark nights when it's like so late and you're really working hard.
Yeah.
Like I've done throughs. I'm not a successful business owner like Adeel, but I tried a bunch of stuff that I thought I liked, and I was tested, you know, on different days where rejection came, and I'm like, how strong do I love this? If I'm willing to commit and not sleep and be broke just for this mission, and I was tested, and it really showed what I wanted to do. So that's a good point.
Yeah.
I hear you on that. I agree.
Yeah, like, I know I said hard work too much, but I really want to emphasize on that, because without hard work, like, you could be, this is, at least I know, like, without that, it's not possible. Or if it is, it's not permanent. It's only temporary. It's like, it was a fluke. If you didn't put hard work into something and it happened for you, it's more like a fluke. It just happened this one time. So hard work is very important. But yes, you got to love it. You got to love what you're doing. Put hard work into it. And then have an ability to learn and grow. Just keep educating yourself. Keep learning. Don't stop yourself. That's the thing. People, when they graduate, they say, oh, my learning stops now and I'm only going to work. But I don't know how you're going to improve in your work if you're not willing to learn more.
Now so now you shared some, you know, hard work, loving what you do. What about some deeper, like, let's say some insights in your business that you've found that help? Like, let's go deeper into like some lessons. Like, let's say like some strategies you've learned. Let's go, because I'm sure someone has heard hard work before. I'm sure someone has heard that.
Yeah. I mean,
what are some things like?
There is a lot of things, right? And I'm only learning myself as I'm kind of doing the journey, and then I'm learning for a lot of other people, a lot of other successful entrepreneurs and business owners. Patience is actually another one. When you're doing hard work, without patience, you can't keep doing that hard work every day. So I don't mean hard work. You just do it for one day and you're like, I've done hard work today and I want the result now. It's being consistent on your hard work, keep doing it regardless of the failure. And what makes that happen is patience. If you don't have patience, you'll give up, right? And again, goes back to loving it. If you don't love it, you'll also give up. So you gotta have patience, you gotta love it. Deep down, I mean, honestly, if you got those big things, you're gonna figure out the rest, in my opinion, because you can't possibly know everything, and you can't be taught everything in one day. But if you got some principle attached to you, that you commit, if you commit that I'm going to do the hard work no matter what, I am going to have the patience no matter what, I'm going to keep learning, finding things are wrong, improving them no matter what. That's really you need on the, honestly, the deep insight as well.
Yeah. Could you share a little bit about us? Tell us about your successes. Your huge. What are some 5 successes that Adeel has achieved? Here's some bragging time.
Honestly,
what are you proud of?
Just proud of myself because of those 3 things. Honestly,
Okay.
I patience. I see a lot of people give up because they don't have the patience. They just can't wait. They just want it happen tomorrow. Things don't work out like that. I've made so many mistakes in real estate. I wouldn't call it in construction. Like, I mean, it's fixable. Like, if we paint it wrong, we paint new paint. Like, I'm talking about some mistakes on construction. On real estate that could really damage you. I've done those. I've made mistakes, but not big enough that it will drown me down fully or the company, but big enough that it was a learning lesson. It was something to be noted. Those things matter a lot. Just, again, like, if you have the patience, you do the hard work, you will get the result.
Yeah, I get those. Those are so key and important to have those principles. But like, what are some tangible successes? Like, let's say you would build a building in time, under budget, or what did you do?
We've done.
What are some things?
We've done a lot of those surprises, you can call it. A lot of good stuff we have done. We have designed places where they weren't, like, no one's willing to design it, especially within the time given or even the cost. We have built restaurant, like we built a restaurant. We had a client come to us saying, we got a possession of a property and we have to make it open 30 days from now. And they didn't have drawings for this. They didn't have any information. They just signed a lease with the landlord and just agreed to opening it in 30 days because that's the grand opening for the entire mall. So
having to meet that deadline.
Yeah. So imagine that. Now we gotta figure out a design, have that done, submit a permit, and then still start construction and finish it in 30 days. So by the time we started construction, it was already 22 days. So we finished that project in 22 days. That was amazing. That was a big achievement.
Wow.
Yeah. Even though it was a small restaurant, I mean, there's still a lot of stuff that goes in there. It's pretty much the same work on the kitchen side if you were to build like a 4,000 square foot restaurant or a 600 square foot. So there was still a lot of work that went in there.
Tons of work. Successes don't come easy, guys. Like, without those patience and hard work, Adeel achieved that. And this can apply to anyone. Like, if restaurant owners, people who have you have people where customers come in. Let's say it's, time. Let's say you have a donair place. No one's coming in. It's empty. There are so many ways to drive customers in, to bring customers into your business, to drive it in. And it only comes from those 2 things that Adeel said, like hard work. Are you willing and do you love it? Because if you do love it and you can commit to it, I do know that you could always find ways to get those customers to come in, to bring them in. So
Yeah,
hard work.
Exactly. Like then you're willing to learn things. Then you're like, I hate marketing. But you know what? I have to do it because it's important. So I'm going to spend time on it. I hate hiring people. I hate hiring chefs and other staff, and they always leave. But then you start working on it. You start building a system. You start learning. You start educating yourself. Start becoming easier for you. So if you didn't put that hard work behind it, and if you didn't have the patience, you didn't like what you were doing, it would be really hard. It would be almost impossible to do it. Hence, I see. So we are in a business of building other businesses, like literally. We're building restaurants. We're building other small businesses. We're building lawyer's office. We're building architect's office. We're building a dentist and a medical clinic and a pharmacy. All these places are small businesses. A lot of franchises. A lot of work we do. We build franchises, kitchen restaurants, QSRs. So, and we see a lot of them. We build them with such nice and care and hard work, and then a couple years, sometimes within a year, they go out of business. The store is closing, shutting down.
It's a shame.
Yeah, and it's I wish I could change that, or I could do something to help it. Maybe down the road we will, but I've been thinking about it. What's the reason why they're closing down? Like, what happened? This is a new place. It works fine. And I think it's that they don't have the interest. Like, they got into something that they probably didn't like. And then it required a lot of hard work, because in the beginning you have to do a lot of hard work. Like, you don't even get paid for it. You're working for free. I think I'm still like 25 cents an hour, the amount of hours that I put in and the money I get in return. So you got to have the bigger goal behind it. And if that's there with that patience, it'll take you there.
Yeah. So we're almost done this podcast, guys. And now we're going to go into the rapid round. Going to be asking Adeel some speed questions. Adeel, don't get into a long story. This is just a quick rapid fire questions that, anyone can get in these couple seconds and learn about you. Are you ready?
Yes.
For the challenge?
Bring it on.
Rapid question number 1. What is your favorite book?
Rich Dad, Poor Dad.
Your favorite quote?
There's so many. I remember I'm not good with memorization. So I'll give you one quote, and I'm not
Cole's notes.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to read it correctly. Good times create... No, sorry, it goes... Hard time creates strong men create good time create weak men create bad times create strong men again, that creates good time. So it's a cycle. Yeah.
Hard times create strong men. That's a great book, by the way. I spoke to that guy who wrote that book. He's a real estate guy too. He's passed away. I forgot his name, but he's a good guy. Favorite mentor. Who is that mentor of yours?
I have many.
One. Pick one.
Right now, Grant Cardone.
Good guy.
Yeah.
Favorite food.
I don't have favorite food anymore for some reason. That's weird. I'll just eat anything. Okay. Goat Karahi. I'm just gonna name that.
Goat Karahi. All right. I don't know what that is, but
it's a goat. It's lamb, and it's made with spices, like Indian spices. So Karahi.
Nice. Yeah. Favorite car. in the world?
in the world. I'll pick one of the Bens.
Favorite piece of real estate or favorite building?
That is right now, or I would like to build.
Like, what would it look like if you built it?
It would be a nice tower right on the ocean.
Yeah, okay. Like, what would be different about it? Like, there's so many towers by the ocean, especially Miami.
I think the living structure would be really different. In that building, you wouldn't have to go get your food. Your food will be grown right there. So that is something actually working on the construction side, which we could do 10 more podcasts on. But yeah, it would be building of the future that would be off the grid, that would have everything you need in order to survive, which is your food, clean water, and everything else that you can dream of.
Powerful.
Yeah, the basic stuff.
If you had $1 billion right now deposited in your account, what would you buy or invest in?
I would open up. I would just expand Pircon to be the company where it can hire more people on as an education rather than work. So what I really mean that I would invest that money to create workshops where people are hired and they get the learning and they get paid at the same time.
Amazing. One piece of advice that you would tell yourself if you could rebuild your business right now?
Start early.
Start early. Powerful. And okay, I think we're basically there at the rapid questions. If you guys have a question you want to ask Adeel, maybe at another show, I just made these at the top of my head. But go ahead and just drop a comment in the YouTube comments and just let it, what do you want to know about Adeel as you want to get to know him. And you will get to know him as we improve our podcast, get to know him better as we keep going live and keep streaming these podcasts as well. But I'm really curious before we go, what's next for Adeel? What's something exciting that Adeel is working on today or now?
We're working on to build a community. It's a self-sustaining, off-the-grid community. And that exactly is just the highlights I kind of told you in a building.
Yeah.
We would have that on a big community level.
Community.
Yeah, it's what's different about it. Again, we'll have to do a really deep down into that down the road. But the way we live, the way the structure we live in, it hasn't changed for years. Like everything around us has changed, except the way we live, the air we breathe in our homes. So this community will have the homes of the future where it's cheaper, easier, faster to build, and it's healthier to live in.
Cheaper, easier, faster to live in.
To build?
Faster to build. Okay.
Yeah, they're going to be much faster to build. They're going to be much cheaper, and they're going to be much easier to build. Right now, that the stick and frame system we do, you can get around that, build that quick, prefab and all that stuff. But this is completely different. And then what resources we use. So we use the water, the electricity, and then the way the homes are built, like the insulations that are used, like we're losing so much energy, in winter or summer. They're not fully sealed in. Even you get the 3-pane window and all that stuff. There's a lot of things to look at. What creates the building envelope, and we don't have that yet right now. And then we're still breathing into this forced air from our furnace that is, that has a very lousy filter on it. So yeah, you can spend thousands of dollars and get like state of the art equipment for your homes and get this furnace from Germany, but this is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about using the natural resources within the land, within the house, and you take advantage of that. That will help on the cost. That'll make your health better. Like we have a model of a house where you're growing your food inside your home. So you'll never have to go to a grocery store. And again, that comes with many different things that we plan on doing. That's the way you grow, the way the water is provided, the way the soil works. So that's a whole lot of information that we'll have to share in the near future.
Yes, stay tuned. I used to not care about sustainability once in my life, but as I learn about, Earth and how resources are limited, I learned that how important it is. So I'm excited just to be around these guys. I'm around these guys all the time. They always talk about their vision of community and this type of living. And it kind of just, it teaches me something new about, how to build land. Everyone's talking about sustainability and this new way of living because our earth does need it. But I know we're going to cover that more at another time. We're about to wrap up this podcast, guys. So is there any last minute notes, any last final words for the audience today?
I just want to tell everybody that they should be happy. Like if you got two eyes and your hands attached to your body and you got legs and you can run and you can breathe and you can walk and you can wake up every day and go to bed at night like without difficulties, and you got a roof over your head and you're getting enough food that you should be really, really happy and excited about life. Life, you're never gonna have perfection. It's not a destination, it's a journey. So just enjoy the journey.
Gotta enjoy it.
Yeah. And then again, like those three things, just if you have those, the journey will become fun because you'll do the hard work, you'll get the reward for it. Just be patient, just do your best, keep learning, keep breathing, you'll be happy.
So there you go, guys. Key lessons from Adeel Pirzada on the Adeel Pirzada podcast. Hard work, be patient, love what you do. Investing $1 billion back into his business, building towers, different ways of living, different mindsets. Today we learned about how Adeel grew up, came to Canada, had to take on being the role model and the leader in his family, building a new family, building more buildings and stores, hearing about his successes. So very grateful just to be around you guys. I'm glad that I'm here and you have accepted me and as part of this team. So very grateful.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Kevin. We should do one with you, interview you, and this was the first one. So thanks a lot, actually being part of it and kind of putting me on the highlight here and making it all about me. I do want to have other entrepreneurs, other business owners join this podcast, actually come on here, talk about their business, talk about their challenges, their story. This is going to be a very exciting for the small businesses here. So I really want to emphasize on that, this you should join us, and you're welcome to actually come to the podcast and so we can highlight your business and we can discuss your business in detail.
I'll put the information in the show notes if you'd like to connect and get featured. Email me, send me an email at kevin@pircongroup.com. kevin@pircongroup.com. And again, I know I sounded like a repeated record, but I know repeated messages is a great way to just get in someone's brain, which is a psychology tactic. But Again, if you do need any help with design, building permits, commercial permits, development permits, building a new space, you're building your business, turning your vision into a physical business, we can help make that happen for you. We will design it, we will build it, and we will grow it for you and with you. Just go ahead and contact us. You can contact us at pircongroup.com. You could hit us with the contact form in the bottom of the page. You could always contact us there. Thank you again for tuning in to the Adeel Pirzada Podcast, live every Friday. Give us your feedback if you have any. We're going to be updating, listening, hearing, and live there as well. So I know it wasn't perfect, but thank you for your time, everyone. And have a great day and go Rocket.
Thanks a lot, everyone. Thank you. We'll see you soon.